Look at that. Good morning. My name is Andrea, and you are joining us at the Quilting Shed in Fredericton, New Brunswick. La. It's my little shop. Wow, it's like Monday, the revenge, the return of Monday. And it's Wednesday. But yeah, I love last minute technical issues because they're super fun. So if I'm lagging and doing weird things, good lord. Uh things are popping up on my screen. I had to reboot my computer at 8:58. So that tells you how my day is going. Awesome. Mm. And the sun is hitting me right. See, the sun is hitting me right in the face. This is so great. Anyway, so it's Wednesday. I almost said Tuesday because I have another book in front of me and it says Tuesday at the top. So we did get some fabric in a little bit. Still waiting on some more. Got some machines in. Those are spoken for. I know. It's always exciting when somebody gets a new machine. It's great. So what's been happening at the Quilting Shed? Every day, multiple people ask me about classes. And I would like to remind you that even though we are very busy over the next 6 weeks or 5 weeks, helping our beginners with the beginner quilting classes, this is what they're working on. This is my version. I got to get a little ahead of them. After I'm done with that, then we will have more classes somewhere between now and then. I will tell you when those classes are. But should you want to come to the shop, I know, bring your sewing machine, bring your stuff, bring a project. This is our classroom area. These 4 work tables right here. Sometimes when you come in, it looks like my desk and it has tons of stuff on top. That's why I want you to let me know ahead of time so I can clean the space off just for you. So you can sit here in the shop. You can have one of the back tables if you want. Work on your project all day, hang out with me, see some exciting behind the scenes actions. I know, and you'll be like, oh my God, how does she manage all day? I don't get it. Yeah, I don't.
Behind the scenes details, otherwise known as tech issues.
Tech issues, chaos, mass hysteria, cats and dogs everywhere, obscure movie quotes and references, and maybe sometimes we break into song. Who knows? It could be anything. While you're here sewing, I mean, it's $10 just to hang out and chill with us for the day. If there's no customers and you have a question, I will help you with your project. On top of that, if you want to try out some of the rulers that I have and some of the tools that I have and have me show you different techniques, we can do all that. I'm pretty chill with all of that stuff. I won't say no, you have to take a class for that. I mean, unless it's super complicated. It's like, can you show me in the next 5 minutes how to paper piece? I mean, maybe. Quickly, yes, I can confirm what you're doing, but other than that, that might be something that, or I can say you can just try this, but for the whole explanation, you would prefer a class for those sorts of things. But I can just kind of point you in the right direction, help you decipher your pattern. Anyway, yeah, sew days. I have them listed on the website as Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Honestly, if you want another day, feel free. Susan likes to come on Saturday and work on her stuff. So Louise is downstairs. Bonjour, Louise. Comment ça va? Danielle says I need to practice my French. There I am doing it. Look at me. I know. I will have you know. So Danielle is my friend. Danielle is my OG BFF in the quilting world. Susan and Diane are really going to give me hell for this one. Danielle owns a quilting shop called Chloe's Quilting Cafe over in Saint Louis de Quet on the eastern side of the province, over by Kujamaquack National Park. I know. So she always gives me a hard time, and we banter back and forth. So yeah, that's the fun stuff that we do. And some of it is we like to needle each other about cultural differences. Andrea, your French is really terrible. Yeah, I know. Thank you. So that's the fun that we are doing. I know what my point was. My point was Danielle does a live on Saturday mornings earlier than I do. She goes from 8:30 to 9:30. And last Saturday, I come to the shop early. And on Saturdays, sometimes I'll watch her video, depending on what I'm doing. So last Saturday, I did watch her video, but I only tuned into the last half. She did the last half entirely en français, and I could kind of follow along. I know. There was a lot I did know. There was a few things that I'm like, I'm not sure what that is, but context. Yeah, I think I get what she's talking about, get the gist of it. So I'm not completely lost. Um, and anytime we've traveled to some place like Quebec City, Montreal, it always takes me about 3 years to, like I say, get my French ears on.
3 years.
3 years, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days to get my French ears on. So at least I don't have to stop and think about what somebody said. It's just they said it, and I was like, "Oh right, yeah, okay, got it." So if you come in and you do speak Francais and you feel that your English isn't very good, if you're more comfortable with some French, I will attempt to understand it. I may not be able to speak French back,
Like if
but
we get the
if you
English
can't
word.
think of the English word, just say it in French. I'll probably get it. There's been a few times that's happened. I'm like, I knew right away. Yeah, I know what snowman is in French. I read labels. Anyway, enough about that and me being embarrassing. Oh God. Anyway, languages are fun, languages are cool, but we want to talk about fabric.
And we have a lot to
Speaking of fabric, yeah, we do have a lot to cover. Thank you. Assistants in the background. We will. I usually have my stuff over here and then chuck it that way.
mention this.
Ah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, this is a little better. There we go. Sorry, I'm all frazzled and in a tizzy from this morning.
All out of sorts.
Out of sorts. I'm out of sorts. I'm out of licorice. All sorts as well. Oh, thank you for that terrible accent. Watched a movie that took place in Ireland last night. Anyway, speaking of words that are hard to pronounce, we have fabric in from Kaffe Fasset. His name rhymes with safe asset. So if you see Kaffe, it's Kaffe. Fasset is his last name, even though it's Fasset. It is pronounced like facets of a jewel. It's a facet. Facet, something like that. Anyway, I have new bolts. Oh my God, they are so gorgeous. He does have this printed on like a finer cotton fabric, and the drape is marvelous. I wasn't sure about this fabric when I ordered it in this particular color, but I needed more in these sorts of colors. And now that I see it, it is, I mean, it is fantastic. Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous. Ah, yeah. And we currently rethinking this, rethinking the price. Oh, look at this. This is the agate in a blue green. I mean, mm, it's so delicious. It's cave. I mean, uh, my favorite print. I already have this in the pink and the red, and this is the blue with the purple. The colors are so rich, and the feel of the fabric is so nice. And I am taking time to show you, taking time to show you these fabrics just because it's yes. Thank you, Emily. Emily confirms that if you read his Wikipedia page, it states that his name rhymes with safe asset. Cave Fasset. There we go. See? Um, sorry, this just reminded me. My nose is itchy because it's dusty. This just reminded me last night I had to help at the quilt guild meeting. I was at a guild meeting last night and they were having technical issues with something or other. And one of them goes, ask Andrea, she knows everything. It's like, damn, I do know this. Ah. Anyway, next fabric. I am not normally a fan of things like orange. It's fine. I like it. I like all the colors. Some colors I like more than others. Some colors are near the bottom of the pile. Orange is usually near the bottom of the pile for me. But ah, this one. Oh my God. This is the coleus print, and we have some coleus plants at home that my husband has babied through the winter. And he hasn't even seen this fabric. I know when he does, he's gonna fall all over it too. Oh, and with big lush prints like that, sometimes you want to throw in a few geometrics. mad plaid in the reds. I basically just look, what colors do I have? What colors can I fill in, and to fill in a little more? Next time I order more Kaffe, I will just be like, all right, let's do these colors. Because I think now I'm heavy on the blues. Yeah, I got a lot of blues. Ah, look, the Milleflori one. I have this in like the limey green as well, which I think Danielle made a skirt out of this print. And yes, it's fantastic. So it's not just the yardage that I have here in the shop in stock. I also have pre-cuts. Oh God, this is deadly. You're like, oh, Andrea, you're killing me. Mm, in all the colorways that are available. So charm packs from, yeah, from the Kaffe Fasset Collective, classics and stash prints.
So blue, green, red, and rainbow.
Yep. So these ones are the blues. Lake, they call it. So there's like a blue selection. That's that print I've got. Greens called Meadow on the website. I even updated the pictures so you could go to the website and see. So all the greens, all the reds called Vineyard. Vineyard. Yeah, look, all those reds. And my favorite, rainbow. Why pick one color when you can just pick all of them? Oh my God, this would be so gorgeous. And usually when they do something like this, because he has a lot in his classics and his stash reorderables, which means that they constantly print these so I can keep getting more and more and not like a collection, which is limited. Um, he tends to pick the bigger and prints and not a lot of the finer, like what I would call accent prints. There's a few dots and plaids in here, but they're mostly the big florals, which, and if I do that, it makes a lot of dust in my nose edge. So I got the charm squares. I also got the fat quarter bundles. So these are 110 for 20 fat quarters, but it's Kaffe. And you could just like pet it for a while, carry it around with you. So that is the blues and the greens. Oh, yeah, I know. As you're like, Andrea, you're killing me. I know, I'm killing. Yeah. Do you know how hard it is to not make something out of this, like a bag or something? I mean, Vineyard. Oh, and of course, once again, the rainbow. I mean, look at that. That's amazing. Couldn't you make the most gorgeous quilt out of this? Yes, you could. Who for? For yourself. Isn't it about time you made a quilt for yourself? Yes, it probably is. All right. And I posted an extremely funny picture yesterday. If you're ever in doubt if I'm joking or not, or I meant to be funny, I totally meant to be funny. Just putting that out there. If I say something weird and you're thinking, is that some sort of a joke? Yeah, it's a joke. But yeah, I did order like 17 of these. It's possible I kept putting more in the cart. Um, and forgot. I think that might be part of it, but also I did run this by somebody else and they said they thought that was hilarious. It made actually really good sense, but I was so frustrated in running out of these all the time because I tended to order only 3 or 6. And I've also been giving paper piecing classes. And when we're done with the beginners, we will do a few more rounds of paper piecing because I have a small space and I have to do the same class a few times so that everybody has a chance. So things like paper piecing are going to be on a regular rotation of classes. So if you miss paper piecing, wait a bit, wait a month, it'll come around again. I think that's what I'm going to do for late spring, early summer is just here's 3 or 4 classes. We're just going to keep running them back to back. So anyway, yeah, you use this in paper piecing lots of times, and I didn't want to run out for classes. So one of the things I did, how many did I sell last year? How many of these did I sell last year? Give me that total reports. All right, we're buying that many. So it's like, yeah, bought a year's worth of these. Yes, as somebody pointed out, it does tie up inventory money, but these are like, it's a $25 seam roller. It's not, they don't take up. It's not like I got a year's worth of sewing machines. It's fine.
They're a consistent seller.
It's a consistent seller. Thank you. So there's that. I did get a smattering of new notions in, and a lot of books and patterns. For some reason, I went on a spree, and so I had back ordered things. I wanted to get some extra books and things for a couple of the classes. I know classes, right? And some of them were back orders, so some of them are coming in. And then I went around the shop and was like, I have never shown these because sometimes I do requests for people and I don't really mention that I got the thing in because the person who wanted that thing hasn't got their thing yet. And sometimes I'm like, this is a cool thing. I will make sure they get their piece and then I will mention the rest for everybody else so that, they get what they wanted. This is the Auntie's Two Patterns City Bags, Midtown. So this is for a bag and this is for Uptown. So these are like carrier duffel overnight bags, zipper top bags. But they come with the bag frames already in them and the pattern. So like a medium size. Like this one says perfect for overnight. They even have on the cover, they use like the Dream Big pattern as the bag. So you see how big it is. This one is 34 and this one is 30. Like I said, they have the bag frames in them. I've only got one or two of each of these. The other thing I don't think I mentioned was I did get in the rag quilt snips. Snips for your rag quilt. Save your hands. I did get the nice ergonomic handles. And it's got the little spring there. So this action here will hurt if you do it 100 times in a row. This will help, especially make you a lot of rag quilts. And once again, I will remind you, we have a fine selection of flannel yarn-dyed plaids on sale for $15 a meter. Thank you for shopping at the Quilting Shed. My mom worked in an office when I was like, medium-sized teenage child. So I got really good at phone voice because we sound the same on the phone. For service in English, please press 1. For service en français, composez 0. Yeah, I'm just being funny. I know. Good morning, Carlinda, down there. Look at everybody. Oh, and Alice. Oh my God. Hi, Alice. Ah. And Heidi. Heidi's awake. Hot rulers. So, hey, remember how sometimes when I want to get anything, and it's just like somebody says, "You got any hot rulers, iron rulers? Those rulers. I saw them somewhere. You can iron on them. They don't melt." Yeah, okay, sure. So I was just clicking around. I'm like, oh, this supplier has a couple. Throw them in the cart. They come in. I'm like, okay, how much am I charging for these? And I look at them. I'm like, we had 2 people here, and we had to keep double checking the prices and go, what? Okay, so bear with me.
Yeah, I thought something was up.
We thought something was wrong or we got it screwed up. So this one feels like plastic. It's about this big. It's about yay big. Is this metric? This one's metric.
Yeah.
Metric on one side.
Imperial on the other.
Is it? No.
Can I see? Because it looks.
Oh crap! Yeah.
No, it's metric on both sides.
It is metric. That's why. Finally clued in. So this is the nice hot ruler, but it's in metric. That would be why. It's $17. It is the bigger one, but it's also metric. I can flip around. Other people might have a harder time. But honestly, if you're just pressing up a hem or stuff or something, it's easy to get the conversion in your head once you do it, 3 or 4 times. And you just you stop looking at it as a measurement. It's just, I got to go to this line. That's what I need. So this one is in Imperial. This one is not made of plastic. It feels like the really stiff Peltex interfacing. So it feels like a non-woven stiff fabric, but it does have the measurements on it in Imperial. And for some reason is twice as much. $35 hot ruler, but I mean, it will really help and be handy. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. It's a good thing I only ordered a few of these. That's all I'm saying. I'm not sure how they will go over, but I think we have discovered why this one is only $17 because it's metric. It's 10 centimeters by 30 centimeters. But yeah, it's a plastic that won't get damaged by your iron, and this one is not plastic and in Imperial, and double the price. let's move on to funner things. Do you remember how much this was?
You didn't tell me,
I didn't tell you. Okay.
or I don't remember.
I know I got it on sale. Sometimes my supplier has a lot of things on sale, and I'm like, give me one of everything. Do have a funny story about that when that utterly backfired on me. But this time, I ordered a bunch of these. They had these nice bags in different styles. There we go, different styles. But by the time they got to my order, there was only one left. But this is a bag for your accessories. You could buy a pattern to make a bag like this, or you could be like, screw it, I'm just gonna pay somebody to make this bag for me. Give you a lot of little tools. You don't have to put like sewing in here. You could put like you can put your needles in here if you have like a lot of packages of needles and other small accessories.
You can put your crochet or
You could
knitting.
put your crochet and your knitting things in here. I don't think it's very much. You know what? Ugh. Oh no, it's not $40. It was regular $40, but I know it's cheaper than that. We'll figure it out. There's only one, so if you want it, ping me and I'll look up the price. When I am not so disorganized. Hi, I'm Andrea and I have ADHD and I think the meds are starting to kick in. Yeah, okay. I can hear colors and see sounds now. Mm. So the other thing I got in, I am a fan of Eleanor Burns. Da, 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 da. Most of her patterns are really, really well written. Some of them, she says, use one of her particular rulers. There's always a workaround for that. I think these ones are all like $10. They were on sale. I know, right? But yeah, speedy delivery quilt. What does this one use? 5-inch squares. Yeah. So like this is a good charm pack pattern. This is a good charm pack pattern. And oh my God, I got in new charm packs. What? Crazy. I know. A layer cake pattern. I think I've had this one before. But if you're stumped what to do with layer cake, this makes a lap size quilt. This is gorgeous. Oh man. It does use a quilt in a day wedge ruler, but honestly, it's a 45-degree angle on a strip. Like you can measure that. Also, she says you can use a specific AccuQuilt cutting die. Baby or lap. Look at this nice braid. Look at that. And it uses jelly rolls, 2.5-inch strips. Nice. This one also uses charm packs. And did you know if you need multiple charm packs, you can just get a layer cake and cut that into 4s. Layer cake is 4 charm packs. Might as well buy a layer cake and
one
cut it.
charm pack is 4 mini charms.
And 1 pack is 4 mini charms. It's all based on the same numbers. Yeah. Wow. It almost looks like I planned this. I totally didn't, but look at this. This is the color wheel quilt. This uses, what does this use for yardage? Possibly 2.5-inch strips, but because she does mention the Shape Cut Pro ruler, which I also have here in the shop. And the people, the students in the beginner class, I showed them how to use the Shape Cut Pro ruler because they had to cut 2.5-inch strips. That was the last thing we had to cut. So I made them cut everything properly for like an hour. It took for them to cut out the strips of fabric for their baby and lap quilt. And then the last step was now cut out these 2.5-inch strips for the inside border. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to show you the really easy way to do this with this ruler. And one was like, why didn't you show us this first? You're just razzing me. But yeah, this one, look at that. It's all the cave fabrics. Look at, nice gradient of rainbow colors. I mean, I am nothing if not consistent. I'm so consistent. It does look like I planned these things. As I say, every time something wildly works out, follow me for more business tips. And another one that uses the quick curve mini ruler, which we did do a class on and should probably do another one. I don't know yet. The whale tail. I got this one in because summer's coming and we get tourists. What do you do when you go to a new city for a vacation? You check out the local quilt shop. What do people do when they come to Fredericton for whatever reason? Because people do. I don't know either. Sometimes people come to New Brunswick and they're not just driving through on their way to Nova Scotia. I know. I'm flabbergasted. Um, so they stop in here. Their wife stops in here. Usually it's the wife. Not always, but usually. Sometimes it's somebody else. And they're like, I got to check out all the quilt shops while the husband's like digging up bones out in the backwoods. That literally happened. Um, okay, technically, maybe it was not literally digging up. Okay, anyway, that's a longer story. Anyway, so the wife was in here and he was, anyway. So this is, they want something to remind them of the Maritimes. This is a nice whale tail pattern. Woohoo! I don't know how much. I type them all. I get them all. I don't necessarily type them all in. It's a spreadsheet. I do some work, do a lot of copy and pasting and exporting. Carlinda down there in the comments, she knows what I mean. So you see all the numbers, they don't even register anymore. I know, especially when they're one-offs. So, other people have seen this elsewhere, but I finally have it. Simply Jelly Rolls by It's So Emma. Woo! I know. It's So Emma is the brand from the Fat Quarter Shop. So this has a bunch of Jelly Roll quilts, and I will tell you, when Jelly Rolls first came out, I bought a couple of Jelly Roll books, and I have done a lot of quilts out of those kind of books. They're very handy. Uh, so highly recommended. There's some very cute ones in here. The It's So Emma brand does a lot of really cute quilts. Dun, 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 dun. And at some point, I will tell you how much that is. Could you look that up for me?
Simply Jelly.
Simply Jelly Rolls. I have multiple copies of these. I didn't order just one. I did order multiple copies.
$28.
$28. Okay, $28 for this book, and I have more than one. Okay. So what else do we have in here? The Fredericton Guild did 3D quilts, and I actually saw this book last night because they had it in their library. Stunning 3D quilt simplified. If you wanted to create quilts like this, look at that. Aren't they great? I have a book. It's actually a lot easier than you think. This one, it's a bunch of triangles. It's just all in the way you put them together. I know, it's amazing. And as I tell the students, you first find out these tricks, and they say like tricks and hacks and stuff. I'm like, no, it's the process. It's the actual technique of how we do these things. It's like nobody put pieces of block accurately. Everybody trims. It's part of the process. It's not a cheat or a hidden thing. Related to the 3D quilts, though, and speaking of triangles, radiant quilts, stunning quilts from simple shapes. Look at that. This also has some 3D quilts and 3D effects in it. It's also very scrappy. So if you want to like do some stash busting and use up your stash, we all know you always have to like squeeze something in there, but you can get pretty far, pretty loosey goosey with some other things. So yeah, this looks like a really good book. This one, I have seen this one kicking around for ages because there was a quilt like this that won Best in Show for QuiltCon like 1 year, and since that time, gemstone type faceted quilts. This is a quilt. This is a quilt. Yeah. So it's a whole book on how to do this, and it is not as difficult as it seems. And they do give you patterns, and it is absolutely wild. If you like the process of making a quilt according to some sort of artistic statement or thing or process, and you really want to think about it and really use your creative noodle, uh, let me tell you, this is the kind of thing where I'm like, if I had a week or 7 off of my life, for a vacation from my life to do something like this, oh yeah, I would dig into that so hard. We could be like totally exploring the concept of gems and facets in fabric and the photographic quality of textiles. I know. If you could see my browser tabs right now, yeah, ADHD is weird, especially when it comes to the fact that you have the entirety of human knowledge at your fingertips. And my brain goes, well, what about such and such? And you just type it into Google, and then you have like a whole bunch of stuff. I have things on medieval quilting and feminism in quilting and activist quilting. And I mean, that was just from last night on top of wire yeah, some health stuff for my husband and recipes, the usual. Uh, I did the free motion quilting class, and there were some books on back order, and actually two came in that are my favorites. I showed the students this. I have a copy of this that is mine, and I had to put my name on it so nobody would try to buy it. But if you like to free motion quilt and you've got it in, finally got it in your head that, yeah, the only way I'm going to get good at this, like Andrea is to practice, because Andrea did it at least once a week for 3 years solid. Yes, I know. I'm as shocked as the rest of you. But this one is 155 mix and match designs. And I am not exaggerating when I say a lot of my quilts have about 4 designs in them, and I just mix them up and change the scale and stretch and condense and tall and yeah, honestly, this is the trick. Mother's Day is coming. Uh if you send your loved ones a link to my website and they scroll down a little bit to the featured products, there is a very prominent picture of a gift card. They can click the button and buy you a gift card for Mother's Day, and you will be happy and everything will be grand. Like, it's got all over designs. It shows you how to do the all over designs, and then it'll show you how to do something like here's a block, and here's how to do those various designs in those blocks just to see what they look like. So this is highly recommended. The copy that I have in my own stash, I still reference when I am stumped. I don't look at a quilt and go, "Oh, I know how I'm going to quilt this." That happens maybe 30% of the time. Sometimes I'm like, I'm just loading the quilt and starting, and I'm going to figure it out when I get there. Dunno. Sometimes I pick things out. Yeah. So the other person who wrote a lot of books back in the early days, back in the aughts, back in the 2010s, and the 10s to the 20s, in the last decade or so, Angela Walters, Free Motion Meandering. This is actually one of the good books. There's in these kind of books from like stash books and like the quilting hobby type stuff, if you follow a particular author and you see all of the books, after a time they get a little repetitive. And there's a couple of her books, no dogging on Angela, she's wonderful. um, Sometimes your publishers, there's a lot of pressure to keep releasing new stuff, and sometimes it's kind of meh compared to the rest, but this is one of the ones that I think is absolutely worth having in your stash as a reference if you are learning that free motion quilting. So here's the back. Yeah, this looks complicated here. We talked about this in the class too, about like graffiti quilting. It's where you combine a bunch of designs. This is great. So you're only like you don't have to do the same thing perfectly everywhere. You don't have to do the same thing perfectly everywhere anyway. But here you just do a bunch of designs, just according to how you feel. Yeah, that's what she ends the book with. But as you go through the book, she shows you all the here we go, all the different kinds of designs and how to do them step by step, how to stitch them out, what direction to go, what to do if you're stuck. Just do another bump to get to where to go. Um, and then how to combine them in the end. This one is the Paisley Meander. It also looks kind of like leaves. It's fun. There's another one in here that actually I haven't done in a while. I showed somebody, believe me, it's a walk down memory lane. I showed students how to do this one, the feather meander. It's she calls it a feather meander, but I call it like a feather circle. Look at this.
It's kind of like a nautilus shell.
Yeah, it's kind of like a nautilus shell. Like, so here, like she's just done it in one block. Here she's done it in a circle. Here she's done it all over. It's awesome. You know what? I can't wait to teach this class again. It is very fun. It's very fun for me. It's very fun for you. It's also kind of frustrating for you because I know it's like I'm doing it, but it's not turning out perfect. Andrea, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, just keep going. Just keep going. Like life, just keep going. Honestly, there's always like a lesson here. Um, what else was left?
I'm adding lots of pictures to the stencils.
You're adding lots of pictures to the stencils. We did get some more stencils in for quilting, hand quilting, and machine quilting because you can put the stencil down, transfer the design, take the stencil off. There's the design. Now stitch it out. Yeah. So we realized when we got these in that half of them didn't have pictures. Some of the pictures that did had were just ugly and hard to see. Eeks. If you do see a terrible picture on the website, that's just us going, we're getting this up so you know we have it. We'll take a nicer picture at some point. So Snowy's in the background working on pictures for the stencils. I added more pictures of the Kaffe Fasset stuff that just came in yesterday. There is a huge list of things that don't have pictures on the website. And the techie background story on that one is if it doesn't have a picture or an image in our system, it hides on our website. We can see it in the back end. I could even send you a link to say, here's where it is. But if you like search for a thing and it doesn't have a picture, it won't show up for you. If you say, Andrea, I know you have this thing in the store. How can I buy it online? I'd be like, here's the magic link. See how it has no picture? There you go. The funny part for that is I'm also testing a service that automatically pulls a product out of our shop and reposts it to either Facebook or Instagram. That means, but it doesn't check to see if there's no product image because the way the whole thing is coded is if there's not a proper image, it picks a default image, which I chose as our shop logo. So if you see on Facebook or Instagram a product, a post that says such and such an item in the shop, and it just has my logo, it's just because I didn't get around to putting a nice picture, and this other system that is pulling that out of our system and reposting it somewhere else, according to it, because it's just a computer, it says, yeah, this has an image. They aren't looking to see if it's the logo or an image of the actual product. So just in case you were confused, because a couple people were actually confused, why are you just posting your logo everywhere? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, it's okay. I don't understand either. That's all it is. Little technical issue that Andrea hasn't quite found a workaround for.
I'm also working on making the stencils easier to browse online.
Ooh, we are also working on making the stencils easier to browse online. Is that via tags and everything? Awesome. Yeah, when you're on the website and you're looking at the product over on the side, you can see this a lot better on your desktop computer or your laptop or your tablet. If you hold your tablet sideways, if you hold it vertically, the tags also go to the bottom. Or if you're on your little tiny phone, you can look at my website online, and sometimes it's a lot easier to browse on something like a tablet, something with a bigger screen than your little tiny phone. Also, there's subtle differences on the phone. There's like an entirely different menu on the phone, and I forgot I had it there. And I just recently had to go back and tweak it because people weren't finding things because they weren't on the menu that only shows when they look on their phone.
We've gone from like 3 stencils to like almost 30
We've gone from 3 stencils to almost 30
on the website.
on the website. I know, it's crazy. I know. You would be amazed how many people are interested in stencils. Obviously, we carry a lot because we sell a lot. And people are like, I need a stencil for this. Okay, you have all this. I need something just a little bit different. It's fun. Mm. Mm. So yes, so days, come hang out with us. And I'm hoping as the weather gets slightly nicer and things get a little more relaxed and other things finish up, that you'll have more time to relax and you can come and have like a nice afternoon sewing in the quilt shop. I mean, who wouldn't love that? It's fun. It's camaraderie. You get to use my stuff. It's like a big, huge cutting table. Like maybe you have no space at your house. You can come here and you can cut your bigger pieces. Yes, you can totally do that. I know. Yeah, amazing. So we have those sew days. We also still have our UFO. I don't know if you want to call it a contest or whatever, but originally when I said it, I said fill out the form, submit your UFO things by the end of the month or by the end of February or whatever, and we'll do a draw in June. We're still going to do a draw in June for everybody who submits projects that they want to finish and hopefully finish. But that's still open, so you can still sign up for that because I'm only drawing names from the people who have submitted things that they're trying to finish, and you can win a $50 gift card. It's a little bit of work, but I'm hoping it's motivation. Like, is the chance to get a gift card to my shop motivation to finish that quilt? Good. I know. I think that's it. I know what the last one was. Okay. Apparently this weekend is Easter. I know. It's coming on fast. It's actually before my birthday this year. So on Friday the shop is closed. Closed on Friday. Everything's closed on Friday. It's Good Friday. I'm also thinking I might want to be closed on Monday because a 2-day weekend actually sounds really nice. I will be open on Saturday. So Thursday open, Friday closed, Saturday open, Sunday closed, maybe Monday closed, Tuesday open. I feel like we're doing some sort of 80s techno pop song about the quilt shop and our hours.
It's almost 10:15.
Everybody talk about quilt shop. I was trying to think of the song and I had to run through the lyrics. Hello, Pamela's late to the party, but you are just in time for the dance off. Sweet. Everybody talk about quilt shop hours. Yeah, we are going to dance. And some people in the comments actually have heard me sing. Bless your hearts. I know. And yet you came back. Just in time to wrap up. So yes, Kaffe Fasset, new books and patterns, more stuff happening on the website. Stuff has leveled off, not a complaint. Even when it's busy, not a complaint. Um, there's a lot to do in the background. Yeah. So in the downtime now, we're having a little bit more downtime, a little less stress happening in the background, so we can handle some just background stuff that's kind of been kicking around. Important, but not urgent. It's in that sort of pile. It's kind of important that we should probably do this at some point, and we just haven't gotten around to it yet. Now we're getting around to some of those things. So if you feel that there's something I meant to contact you back about and I haven't contacted you back about yet, or I haven't done it yet, or you haven't heard a darn thing, please send me an email or a message or something in writing that blinks at me to pay attention to it, and I will get right back on it. I know. And as I wrap up, because the roof is getting fixed next door and I can hear those poor guys working, God love them. We could do like a whole like half-hour drama on the happenings in our little strip mall. It's a weekly drama. What's going on in the I don't even think our little thing has a name. What's going on in the quilt shop, Davidson's charity? Uh,
Across from Richie's.
yeah, changing hands, cranberry. Feel like I should have had a C name or something. Did you hear that? Time to go. So the only other thought I'm going to leave you with is today's T-shirt. If you met my family, you would understand. It explains a lot. And also, if you think this is a terrible shirt, goodness, how dare she say things like that about her family? My mom bought me this shirt. Yes, we're that family. And I'll leave you with the words my mom always said as I was when I was a teenager and we were getting out of the car to go to some sort of event. As far as everybody knows, we're all perfectly normal, all right? See ya. Love ya. Bye. You guys are great.